Good morning, everybody. Here we are in the Black Hills. It's still morning, what's left of it, on this beautiful October day. And I'm Michael from Sioux Trading Post, and Tracy is filming this video on the crow stitch. And I've got to get one more needle threaded. This is a double thread, but I need for holding the beads, and I need a single thread to hold the needles. I mean, to hold a single thread for finishing the stitch. This is called a crow stitch because when people were first working out beadwork technology, when they were studying Indian art, they looked at some crow pieces and they saw that they used this stitch a lot. And not just crow people use this stitch, for heaven's sake, but they did make great use of it and to good effect. And it's really a nice stitch. They did make good use of this stitch. It has the affect of an applique with a lot less work, a lot less time. Basically, this is a combination of two stitches in a way. What you're going to do is make a real wide lazy stitch, okay? Using your doubled thread that holds your beads. And you're going to make this kind of impossibly wide lazy stitch that really would not work coming up from the bottom there. I'm just going to take these I didn't count, don't have to this first time, but say you're going to fill in an area that's this big. Just slide those right on. And do like you're going to go like you're just going to make a lazy stitch. So you're going to go in, just nicking the hide about a bead's width away. To me, this is always easier than scooping out of a bowl, but if you have loose beads, that's what you have to do. So I'm just making this big lazy stitch, this long stitch here, like I showed you in that other lazy stitch little video that we did. I'm going to nick it, come out like about a bead's width away. So it's coming here. I'm going to put about 5 rows on so you get an idea. This is really great as it's a great fill-in stitch, obviously, for an area. You just have to make sure that you can fill in with parallel rows, because the rows, it just necessitates using parallel rows, as you'll see, and why. So 3, 6, 9, 3, 6, 9, and 1. Okay. Oh, come on, you little bead. There we go. We're almost there. One more after this one. I really have a fondness for crow beadwork. I think that they really, I like the techniques and I like their choice of color. It's pretty sophisticated, and they were kind of colorists. They used a little bit more colors. But you see, I'm just doing a big lazy stitch, and see it's kind of floppy in the middle. If you can see how it's just kind of rolling around there. Well, obviously that wouldn't hold up to much. So what we're going to do, we're almost there. How many do I have there? 3. So this is a 2-thread technique, but like with any of the 2-thread techniques, you don't use both threads at the same time. That wouldn't be possible. Okay, so now we've got a tidy Oop, I put one bead too many on. Can't have that. So we're going to go down in, just to kind of, so you just kind of toss this thread that the beads are on off to the side, okay? Now say that, and you can use this to fill in any shape, say if you had, I mean, as long as the rows are parallel, you can just keep on, say if it was a leaf shape or whatever. But you've got this big kind of floppy, rolling around, extra wide lazy stitch is what you have. So what you do is you then take your single thread, okay, this isn't doubled, this is my single thread. You don't want it doubled because even though it's just a thread, the width of this will push the beads apart more than you'll want. I like to start on the ends. And I'm going to come up in between the beads right here on the very end, okay? And I'm going all the way through the material. You have to with this. And you go all the way down on this one. So I'm going back. Sometimes that thread is a little hard to keep out of the way. So I'm going down like this, pulling it tight, or moderately, snugging it. And then I'm coming up in between the next row up, like so. So I've sewn down this first row. Now I'm going to go back down under. It's like I'm taking a back stitch, really. And I'm sewing down. I'm sewing down the second row. I'm going to go back in from the back side of the material, coming up, going back around, down under, sewing that down, coming back up, like so. Oh, see if you're not careful. There. Coming back up. I'm going down in, sewing that one down. You can kind of use your thumb to kind of guide it where you'd like it. And now I'm getting to the end, the fifth row. I'm going, now this is where you have to do a little maneuvering. So I'm doing this one down. I'm going down in between the beads so I can sew down that the last row that I applied. And I'm doing it right at the very end, okay? So that goes down. So now I have stitched down all 5 rows on the very end. Now you have to go with it. You just went down in between these beads here. Now you're going to move over, bump over, and come back up a couple of beads over, so it's like 3 beads over. And I'm coming back up. I went down in right here, and I'm coming up, bumping over, and coming back up. And what I'm going to do, I'm at the top again. Now this is the part you have to watch. I'm coming back up on the opposite end, sewing it down. Ow, pricked myself. Sewing it down. Okay, I'm sewing it down there. I'm coming up another couple of beads over in that same row. What I'm doing is just bumping the path over for the thread. Now I'm turning it around again. And I'm just going to, there's that. Now I'm going to come up, the next one up. It's like a big back stitch. Going down in. I'll leave this loop up this time so you can kind of maybe see. So there's the loop of where it's going to go down, but I'm going to bump it over another couple of beads, see, over to here. And as I pull this up, the needle up, that loop will tighten. I've just bumped it over for another beading, another route for the beads, turning it all around. And now you can see a little bit. See, this is pretty firm. It's not rolling around. This is the unsewn part. It's rolling around. This looks nice and firm because it's nice and sewn down. This stitch is real secure. It's going to make your beadwork nice and tight, which is good always. So there I am, leaving that one there. I'm coming out a couple over. And then I'm pulling it there. That one went down, pulling it down, under. I'll leave the thread up so you can see. Now I'm going under that third one. There we go. We're almost done. Can you believe it? See how quick this is? We've only got 2 more rows left to do. And do it at the end. When you do it on at the end one of every row. That'll just tighten it up nicely. But as long as you're filling in big parallel spaces with big parallel rows, this is so good. And like I say, it has the affect of applique, but with a little more structure, it's easier to do. Okay, we're almost there. And here we go. Okay, there now. Okay, now the last row I'm bumping over right to the last edge. And now I did cut that thread off holding the beads. You don't want to do that. You'll just have to, at the back here, because this is just a demonstration only, but you're going to want it, you'll have to, keep that up and keep it from, you'll find that the shorter it is, the easier it is to kind of control it. But see, and you know what, when you're going to do this, work in sections 5 or 6 rows high, because if you do a whole section, say, and fill it in, what you'll find is it'll kind of hump up on you, it seems like. So it has been my experience. So work in these little sections. And the other advantage to doing that, we're almost done, this last stitch, and we are done. And what you'll find is if you work in the smaller sections, the best part of that, see how that is totally tight and just all sewn down? Well, you can't really tell from the back, but see, that's all there is to it. It's so easy and so slick. If you work in smaller sections, it is easier to repair. If something happened and this got nicked or damaged and there was something that came loose, it's much easier to repair a smaller section than something big. And like I said, if you did a huge bunch of this, the more you do, it seems to kind of hump up. And working in smaller sections keeps your rows straighter. But you can just see how nice that is. It's just nice and tight. Why don't you feel it, Teresa, and see what you think?
Oh, yeah.
See, it's just really sewn down, and it's a wonderful stitch. This is the crow stitch.